Hello everyone. Welcome back to the new video of AP Knowledge Point, a meeting where the world's richest and most powerful economies gather behind closed doors to discuss the future of global trade, technology, security, and diplomacy. A country that is not even a permanent member becoming one of the influential voices in that room. That country is India. At the 2026 G7 summit in France, India wasn't merely attending as a guest. It arrived with proposals, partnerships, and a vision for the future of the developing world. Why was India invited? What happened behind the scenes? And why does this summit matter to students, policymakers, and ordinary citizens? So let's find out. Today, we are beginning a special series on India's participation in the G7 Summit 2026. By the end of this video, you will understand what the G7 is, why India was invited, what role India played, why experts are calling this a diplomatic milestone. Let's begin the journey. What is the G7? The Group of Seven, commonly known as the G7, is an informal organization consisting of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, United Kingdom, and United States. Along with the European Union, the G7 countries collectively represent a significant share of the world's economy, technology, and financial power. Although decisions taken by the G7 are not legally binding, they strongly influence international policies. Over the years, the G7 has evolved from an economic forum into a platform discussing climate change, security, technology, artificial intelligence, and geopolitical challenges. Why was India invited? India is not a member of the G7. So, why was India invited? The answer lies in India's growing global influence. India is the world's most populous country, one of the fastest growing major economies, a leading technology hub, a major voice for developing nations. Many global issues today cannot be solved without India's participation. Climate change, supply chains, artificial intelligence, trade, and energy security. For these reasons, India has become a regular invitee to G7 outreach sessions. Theme of G7 2026. The summit was hosted by France in Avian-les-Bains. The official theme was forging new partnerships and rebuilding international solidarity. The world today faces multiple crises, geopolitical conflicts, economic uncertainty, supply chain disruptions, climate challenges, and technological risk. The summit aimed to find collaborative solutions. The theme perfectly aligned with India's message of inclusive development and international cooperation. A quick question for the audience. Do you think India should become a permanent member of the G7? Type your answers as yes or no in the comment. India's role at the summit. India participated as a representative of the Global South. The term Global South refers to developing and emerging economies across Asia, Africa, Latin America, and the Pacific. Many of these nations feel that international institutions do not adequately represent their interest. India argued that global governance must become more inclusive. Rather than speaking only for itself, India highlighted the concerns of billions of people living in developing countries. This gave India's participation a significance beyond traditional diplomacy. What were the major highlights? India presented new proposals, held meetings with world leaders, discussed trade agreements, advocated responsible AI development, addressed maritime security, raised concerns about global supply chain disruptions, and emphasized reforms in global governance. These developments signaled India's growing ambition to shape international policies. The 2026 G7 summit was more than another diplomatic event. It reflected India's emergence as an increasingly influential global actor. India was not simply invited to listen. It participated to lead discussions and propose solutions. And that may be the most important takeaway from this summit. In episode 2, we will explore India's powerful argument that the world is facing a trust deficit rather than a resource deficit. We will also see how India wants to transform the relationship between developed and developing nations. So don't miss it. If you like this video, subscribe the channel, and to get notified for the new videos, press the bell icon.